We can use the exposure sheet as well as the timeline to not only repair anything that is wrong as far as timing in the scene, but also to extend exposure and to remove exposure of elements. I'm going to press return on the keyboard to show you this scene that's been pretty much messed up so we can fix it. As you see there, the wheel doesn't show up until a couple of frames in, and then it stays there, then the background goes away too soon. So what we have to do is know what to look for. First of all, let's start in the timeline to see what the mistake could be. Now our animation is 40 frames, but we see that we have a wheel that's going way past that and it's not showing up where it's supposed to be. Now if I deselect this exposure, you see that when I click on a frame, I'm only selecting one frame at a time. But I want to move this entire range. So I'm going to double click until I see these two solid bars. Now I can click and drag my mouse to move this over to the beginning where it belongs. Now the wheel should be at the very beginning of the animation. I'll go ahead and hit return so we can confirm that. Great, now the wheel is where it's supposed to be for the entire duration. But the background goes away too quickly. Let's see what's going on with that. Well, I'm going to go to the exposure sheet so we can see what's going on with the exposure of the actual background of the farm. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll over. And then I'm going to scroll down. Oh, I see what's going on now. I can see that I don't have these little lines here that indicate that we have exposure for the farm. Now, with the truck body's all the way there, the wheel is there, but the farm ends its exposure at frame 21. So we need to fix that. I'm going to show you two ways to do that very quickly. As you see, when I put my mouse at the border of two cells, as you see in between frame 21 and 22, the mouse turns into a double-headed arrow. I can click and now drag my mouse to extend the exposure this way. And now the exposure has been repaired. Let's go ahead and press return. Whoops, let me go back to the actual scene. That would be nice. So I go to my scene and press return. Great. I was just focusing on the wheel at that time. Now the sky or the background is in the entire duration. I'm going to show you another way to do that. So I'm going to undo. And I'm going to scroll down again. And I'm going to go to frame 40 this time. You see, I'm going to show you that those exposures are gone. I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to click in frame 40 under the farm element. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to choose to extend the exposure. And then it will extend that all the way down like so. So I was able to extend the exposure in one of two ways, as well as going to my timeline, and just by looking at the timeline itself and looking where things begin and end, I can tell how long things are going to be exposed in the actual scene. So if things aren't correct, just click and drag and move elements around so that you can get them all lined up and having the proper sequence and timing in your animations.